Good morning. Good morning. How is everybody? Here we are. Saturday, July 10th, 2021. So, welcome to Mid Morning Medium Chat with Adam the Black Swamp Medium. Thank you so much for joining me. Hopefully, everybody's awake. Hello, Carmen. Good to see you. Uh, yeah. So I didn't put it in the show notes. Uh, this could end up being a short show. As I've always said since the beginning, since I started this last year. Good morning, Nicole. Good afternoon to you. Good morning, Debbie. Uh, from the beginning, this was always meant to sort of be, could be as little as 15 minutes and go as much as at least an hour. And okay, go back to sleep. You're more than welcome to, Dad. But yeah, this happened, I don't know, a couple months ago, I think it was, that I don't there so my son is running around upstairs by himself because the ladies are gone for the weekend, so it's just me and my son. And much like last time, for those that were around at that point, if I hear the door opening up, that's either a good thing or a bad thing. So so at any point the show could just abruptly end. So, but obviously we'll keep going through, as much as I can get through. But again, just kind of a disclaimer, just in case, so that way everybody's just like, wow, that was a short show. I always keep my fingers crossed because this doesn't, typically happen. But we'll see how it goes. And yeah, it should work out okay. Should work out okay. And it's killing me with the lights. I keep getting that shadow that's over there because of the lighting. I gotta get some more lights. But anyway, so yeah, so thanks for being here. Hopefully you guys had a great week. It's it was weird because it seemed like a short week because so many of us that still hold down a job. We most observed July 5th, on so this past Monday we pretty much everybody had it off. And it was odd because even when we got back to work on Tuesday, it still felt like a normal week. It didn't feel like 4 days, and I don't know why that is. A lot of times we have holidays on Mondays, and it's always is great because 4 days is 4 days, but for some reason this week just felt like a full five. And maybe it's because we were super busy at work. We're getting a lot of things ready because buildings have begun to start opening back up, even though nobody's showing up. So it's great. we're we're bending over backwards to get all the conference rooms ready to go. Hey, good morning, Tanya. Hey, Kaylee, and we're getting all these rooms ready, and yet nobody's showing up. So it's hilarious in some regard because it's like, why are we going nuts over this? Why is upper management just like freaking out? Nobody's showing up because they're told they don't have to. But that's the thing, is they keep thinking that tons of people are going to come rushing back in, and it's just not the case. So, thanks, Nicole. Move the beer a little bit. It's something I do say a lot, so it's hilarious when I got this shirt. I do say it a ton, and I've said it time and time again on this show. So, but yeah, it was great. Hey, Dennis, good morning. And yeah, it was weird because we normally, it can take a little bit, but we've been doing like real quick checks of the room. But the problem is, if you find an issue, you try to resolve it right away. And then and then that screws up the rest of your time. But then you're trying to make up time, which is hard to do because you have to do certain things to mark it off on the checklist that we have to go through and submit, after we're done. But so that's what I think was weird, was that, hey, good morning, Chuck. And that's what I thought was weird, because this week just seemed like it took forever to get through. And again, being short that it still took a while. So, but that's okay. Sometimes, it does make the day go by a little bit easier, because you're constantly busy. But at the same time, it can be frustrating when things aren't working out or things are broken. And it's like, how the heck did it break in a year and a half, because nobody's touched the equipment in a year and a half. So it is what it is. See, There it is. I said it. I said it, Nicole. So, but yeah, so that was that. Wanted to go back a couple, just kind of highlight a couple things, of course. Uh, so last Monday, some of you were there, and if those that missed it, I did trying to get back into it as far as doing a live, trying to do more live readings and things because you know, just like if you guys were to schedule me, around my schedule and things like that. Hey, Jeff, how you doing? Good morning. And I, really try to, be as close to 100% as possible. And that's always huge. I always feel that, I don't want to sit there and be, even like 70%, 60%. I just don't feel like that's, good enough, and that's just a personal thing that has nothing to do with, you know, I've been in those, modes of where you're super tired and you just, things can be a little bit more fuzzy. They're not as crystal clear. And that's why it's, I try to be pretty much 100% when I, uh, do any type of reading, whether it's, publicly or, personally. And it's just how I am. And there's others that feel the same way and believe in that. And, it's just like, if you don't feel well, you're sick or something like that, which, happens to all of us, it really does, takes a toll on you. And doing this type of communications and things really does, you know, it, it, it affects the energy, which is, can then eventually trickle down into your health, which is, that could be huge. I mean, I've, when you do like a holistic event, you're doing reading after reading after reading, and sometimes you could be going, you know 4 5 6 hours, sometimes longer, depending on the what time the event starts and ends. And so when you're going back to back to back, I mean, you get into it. Hey, good morning, Cindy. But you're running through it, and then the next thing when you realize you're at the end of the show, and you start to notice that you know your your gas tank ain't doing so well anymore. you know you start to feel like you're running on fumes, and it's a weird feeling because if you really think about it, you know most of us, we could sit around all day, you get some food and stuff like that, do basic things, just like now, like the weekend, and you still feel like, even at the end of the day, other than just being tired from being up all day, but you still feel like you could, do, more things and stuff like that. You still have that energy, but it's crazy that, doing communications and things where you're tapping into energy fields, or you're communicating with other, family members and friends and guides and stuff. I mean, it just takes a toll on you, and it's, you know, amazing that the next day you're sitting there on full recovery mode because you don't have it. You're awake, but you just don't have any life in you, And it's a balance of how it all works, and but that's just how it goes. It's what I've have been meant to do, and so many others. We just have to roll with it and do the best we can. Hey, Sharon, good morning. And so it's just how it goes, and so we have to deal with that. And you know the cool thing is, like, when I going back to the live readings on Monday, which was great. I mean, I loved it. Thank you all that came out. Thank you all that so many of you did throw some donations in there, which was awesome. And uh it's not as trying, even though I'm trying to get through everybody, which is, how many tries can I say in one sentence? Because remember, that's my bad word. I hate saying try, but I want to get through as many as I can. And the cool thing is, you're hitting them with one message, so it's in and out sort of thing. So you're not too wiped out. I mean, when I'm done, of course, getting some more water in me and things like that. But I'm not as, full readings, shows, investigations, that just, because you're constantly doing it. Even for like last, I almost went almost full 2 hours. I think it was an hour and 50 minutes, and got through everybody that was on. And I wasn't that bad, which, because it's quick, because it's shorter, and I'm not having to tap into all these different energies so fast, and um, sometimes too, the cards themselves, because the cards have just, pop out in a way. When I do the shuffling and stuff like that, and I pull that card, that also helps with me a little bit too, kind of keep a little bit more gas in the tank, because I'm letting the energy, you know, the hands are doing it, the energy, the shuffling and all that, there's all this other things that you guys don't realize what's happening when you're doing cards. Um, and it could be any type of card reading. There's kind of a cool thing where it doesn't pull so much for me. It's when the card appears, that's when everything starts tapping in, or I start getting some more, help with the card. I mean, because again, I can, when I do the oracle stuff, which I love to do, the the messages, I mean, you read the card for, what it is, but it's the extra stuff that's coming in, where it might apply to you in your life. So it's kind of cool when you get to do that now, like, you know, because there's going to be another live reading show in the near future. Can't say when, but there will be. Remember, this will be the secret one, so you guys will have to be watching. But uh that one is I'm leaning towards just doing more straight mediumship on that one. And so that one's gonna wipe me out a little bit more, because I'll just be that's it's almost like doing a holistic show. You're gonna be going in and out constantly. And so I'm not relying on anything else to kind of work with me. Everybody's gonna be, jumping in. So I got my guides, I got, any you know, family friends, that might be popping through real quickly for a message. So after that show, there's a good chance I'll be a little bit more wiped out. That one we'll see. That'll be another one that, we'll go for the hour. And if I'm okay to go a little bit more, I will. If I'm feeling like I'm starting to get pretty low, the energy is there for me, not necessarily everything that's around me, then, I'll cut it. So, but it'll be cool. It'll definitely be cool. And it'll be a lot of fun. And so, um, and then, like I said, I'm working on some other stuff, there's a couple other different card decks that I want to, start bringing in. I just got to prep them. I haven't prepped them. I haven't, really got them set up. I haven't cleansed them. And there's a couple decks I still got to get prepped, which I'm probably going to do this. I'm probably going to do tonight. I'm going to get these two other ones that I want to start doing for you guys. I want to get them prepped, especially the latest one I just got. So I'll get those prepped, and then, get those ready to go. And yeah, so then that might be, maybe I'll use one of them the next time. And then the rune stuff I'm still working on. That's another thing that's big. I'm trying to get that memorization down, so I don't have to look too much at the a cheat sheet, which probably is going to happen anyway. And I mentioned it, I think, last week, that when I get into that, I'm probably still going to use a cheat sheet, just because there's 24 runes, and it's a lot, and each rune has its own name, it has its own meanings. And so there's a lot. But when I use the cheat sheet, it helps, because I can kind of be like, okay, cool, and uh so I'm going to be working on that this weekend a little bit more, trying to get them done. But I got to figure out a way to memorize them easier, because since there is so many. And this is no different than like a tarot reader, where they got to know their cards and stuff like that. Yeah, right. Well, I mean, right, Dad. I mean, it is only cheating if you. I mean, and I'm not afraid to, show the books and things to show, but it's so cool. It's so fascinating. Hey, Jason, how you doing, sir? And I really, the runes are just fun. I mean, they look weird to most people that don't know them or haven't really seen them much. Usually you have seen them in some way or another. But the cool thing is they really are fun. And when you start, you do rune casting, so you throw them down. You basically feel for whatever rune is. Could be warm to the touch. It could just have energy, for that. So, like, if I was to, when we do it, and when I practiced on, some friends, I'm just reaching in the bag. I'm kind of, mixing around in them. And if there's one rune that always just jumps out, and I'm like, oh, this is it. And you pull it out. And then it's so cool, because it just matches right up with that person and the things that are going on with them. So it's so cool. And that's just a neat thing. And that's why I can't wait to show you, because I'm probably going to have to, like, use my phone, and I'm going to have to do, like, kind of like a secondary shot, so you guys can see the rune, casting in in real time, instead of me just grabbing it and pulling it up. Um, that way you could just see it. So that's something I might have to practice, even just trying to do a different camera angle, but we'll see. We'll see. you know, but so that'll be fun. But yeah, that live reading on Monday was fantastic. I appreciate everybody that made it. And like I said, in the near future, there'll be another reading show, and it'll be a pop up. So you will have to be keeping a tab on my Black Swamp Medium page, because when I go live, it's going to go live, and there's gonna not really going to be a warning for it, and there's reasons behind that, and you may not understand it, you may be frustrated, but believe me, the other side told me to do this, and so I'm going to listen to them. but uh that'll be cool. It'll work out, because if you were meant to be there, then you were meant to be there, so you can't get so if you miss it, don't worry about it. It just wasn't supposed to be that day, and that's part of the things that are going on around the corners there. I do. So moving on, again, just kind of watching the clock and keeping an ear open above me, because I'm in the basement and I got to listen just in case my son needs me. So again, for those that just joined me, I may have to end the show at any at any point. So I'm trying to kind of get through things, but at the same time hold off as long as I can. But so far things seem to be okay upstairs. I don't hear a lot of craziness. So, but um, yeah, you probably won't, Dad. That'll be you'll just be SOL. So, but something kind of fun, and I got to go over to my other screen. Um, some of you probably are aware of it. Some of you probably aren't. We just, as of yesterday, went into, a new moon. And again, I'm always terrible with the astrology stuff, so I have to always like look at something like a cheat, a website, or have some of my other friends that are into it, kind of throw things in the chat room, or they've hit me up, as it's happening, or things. So then I kind of take notice of it more, because I mean, as much as I love it, I'm horrible with keeping up with it, because there's sometimes it's so much, and you're stuck doing other things. And so, but this is a cool one, because they're actually saying that this particular new moon, that it could be the most powerful one of the year. A lot of neat things, because where is it? They said, I need to find the wording because I don't want to say it. I'm going to plagiarize a little, but okay. So again, I'm terrible with the astrology stuff, but this is a new moon in Cancer, for the astrology. So, dun, 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 so there's a couple things happening there. Um, the, a lot of times, you could look at it real simple. New moon, is like the first word. It's new, and there's a lot of cool things that happen on the new moon. Beginnings and things like that. And obviously, some have a little bit more weight in it than others. Like this one, because it's in the zodiac sign Cancer. It's Cancer, because I'm going to cheat here, but love, compassion, and nurturing. So uh, how cool is that? You know what I mean? And what that really means is that, focusing on this new moon in Cancer, you should be focusing on the things that, like your family, your home, and things, everything that's kind of close to you and personal to you, are the things you probably should be a little bit more taking more notice of right now. And just appreciating it. Sometimes we get into routines, we don't uh you know you may have been in the house for for years and years and years, or maybe you just haven't spend a little bit more closeness with your family, playing with your kids, or if they've moved out, reaching out to them, talking on the phone a little bit more. It's one of those things that we all need to do. And sometimes it's great reminders of it, because again, we get stagnant in some of the things that we do. Some of us that still work, we have to go do the job. So you're focused on that, because that's what's bringing home the money, that's what's paying the bills. So sometimes you do push, your family and things a little bit to the side, because when you get home, especially like me, I'm guilty. And I'm the first one to raise my hand and say, I admit it. I get home and I'm tired. I'm physically tired, and sometimes you guys have seen me on the Beyond the Silence show, and I try to, have a little bit of spunk in me and have some energy going and stuff like that. So I'm really scraping to get going because I wake up so early for my day job that I'm just tired from being up for a long time. I'm waking up now that I have to be on site by 6 o'clock, or it's because we start at 6. But I'm up at like 3:30 again, and then I got to be on the road by 4:30, 4:40, and that just gives me some little extra padding, to get there in case there's traffic or whatever. And and then I got to from basically 3:30 until pretty much I'm trying to shut my eyes down at 10, at night. And so it's a long day, and so I'm not getting a whole lot of sleep overnight. And right now, luckily the weather's cooled down a little bit, but the we've been hitting 90s. I mean, you know, I'm on top of the blankets. I'm, hot and sweaty, and my wife is always cold, so she's underneath all the blankets, and I'm just like, I cannot get over seeing she's wrapped in everything, and I'm sitting there on top dying. So I'm like, it doesn't make any sense. But that's how it goes. Most guys know that about their wives. They're always cold and we're always warm. So, but yeah. So I mean, like I said, it's but that's the whole point. So I'm trying to be a little bit more conscious of your loved ones, and do what you can, and things of that nature. Um, let's see, was there anything? Oh, and then because of the new moon, and again, like I said, the new moon really kind of signifies, uh, new things, which is true. Uh, you know, people that have maybe got some interest out there in things, or you maybe still have been putting stuff off, now's the time to really kind of kick that in. There's a lot of the way and again, most people that follow it, if you do or don't, sometimes like they always say the classic line is, when all the stars align. Well, this is a point where that's what's happening, is that, if you want to do new things, or you want to try new things, or go after new things, excuse me, I should eliminate my try word, go after things. And that this is the point. This is the point to do that, because the stars are aligned for you right now. Hey, Melody, good morning. So, uh, do that, push for them. I mean, you might have a lot of goals, but just focus on even just one of them. You know what I mean? Don't sit there and uh, try to do them all at the same time. You know what I mean? Do what you feel is maybe a little bit more, has more weight to it, more importance to it. Because, if you try to do them all, I mean, you're only putting a little bit into each, and it might not happen, or it's going to take a little bit longer for it to, unfold. So, uh, so definitely right now's the time to really focus on that, and try to, whatever's going on this week, whatever you got going on, if you got some goals, start focus on one of them. Really, put your mind into it, or if there's things you have to do to get it established, do it. Do it. This is the time to go for it. So, um, I don't remember if there was any other cool things. Yeah, I didn't. Yeah. So, but yeah, so that's kind of cool. We're doing pretty good. Wow, the last 10 minutes took what felt like 20. I am trying to talk fast because I did want to get through a lot of things. Because like I said, I may have to leave, but so far so good still. Um, which is interesting that I was just talking, because this will kind of segue into something I did write about the show for today. And this may go real quick, or this might go long. So, there might be some questions you guys might want to ask, or comments you want to leave. Um, I wanted to mention, because sometimes and this happens a lot. I've talked about it in certain ways and stuff like that. But I kind of wanted to be, hey, Rodney, good morning. And I wanted to kind of, touch on it a little bit more head on. Uh, there's obviously, like I said, with the new moon, you want to go after new things and stuff like that. And you even heard me say earlier, I'm gonna be practicing this and stuff. You know, if you really want to go after something, so you have to put your mind into it. So, something I've always talked about is, intention. focus on that, and which is key. I mean, your true heart, your intention, if all those things are together in your mind, I want to do this, then that's the first thing, is just making sure your your mind is set, your heart is into it, and you make that intention, which is a good thing. I talk about how I do daily prayers in the morning to kind of get my day started. And that's really what it comes down to. I mean, even just from a basic tip to do is just coming up with, you setting intentions, and you can label it however you want. You could say your intentions, you could say affirmations, you could say, a prayer. It really is all the same thing. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm reading Melody. Rabbit, 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 say when you awake for the new moon to bring you luck for you. Thanks, Melody. Good morning, Chris. And uh but truly, what helps is making yourself a habit. And this is like what I said before, just on doing daily prayers, where you're giving thanks, for the opportunity to be a part of today. Even if you're, not doing a whole lot, you're still grateful that you woke up. But like for me, there's a lot of different things that I include in my prayers, and you know, gratitude. And all right, thanks, Jen. You have a good one. We'll see you soon. And uh you uh you basically, I'm sorry, I got all sidetracked there. The hard part about anything, or getting set yourself into it, is just being, oh my god, I lost the word. How funny is that? I wanted to say the wrong word, and that was like, what am I thinking now? Repetitive. That's it. I was gonna say competitive. I'm like, what the heck is that gonna do? You're gonna compete with yourself. Um, but you want to be repetitive about it. And you know, if it takes you maybe writing it down on a piece of paper and maybe putting it like in your bathroom. So like, we all tend to go to the bathroom when we first wake up, but maybe you see that sticky note on the mirror saying, hey, do your prayer, or do your affirmations, or um, you know, anything that can get you to trigger to start doing it. Or some of us that use our phones, you can put an alarm on it every day at the same time, and just remind yourself. You can like I said, set the alarm to go off, and just know that, because some of them you can title your alarms and say what the alarm's all about. You can just put it in your calendar and have the calendar remind you. We all have, it doesn't matter what phone you have. They all have calendars, and you can set a reminder, to remind you each day. You can set it for every day of the week. And once you start seeing those notifications every day, boom, you'll get into the habit, and you don't even think much of it. It's just boom, I'm going to get into it, do it. I do my thing, and then the rest of the day is on. So, but achieving, but again, going back to, setting all those, setting up your goals and things, you got to start somewhere. And again, doing these prayers and affirmations and things, and your tensions, you've got to do that first. And again, know what you want. Again, make sure your head is, exactly where, you're committed, and then make sure your heart is into it, because you really need all those together. And when you believe it, and it's, I mean, I'm in, true and true. I'm in. Then you start saying it, and you mean it every day. Every time you set those things. So again, let's just take an example, a new job. Okay, you've been sitting around, maybe you're working somewhere, or maybe you're not, but either you don't like your job, or you just really need to get one. Okay, like I said, right now with the new moon, go in there saying that, what, I'm going to get a new job. I'm going to do this. And you know what? I'm just going to put everything I got into this. I'm going to put that energy, those waves out into the universe. I'm going to let them help start aligning everything, because they already know if you're true. Because if you're just being like, yeah, I should get a job, doesn't sound too good, does it? I'm going to get this. I got to get a job. But you know what? Let's put this out there. You know what? Let's just see what happens. Maybe I got to start looking at, this site, or maybe I got to, um, ask some people, that, they can help me out, but just keep putting it out there to where they know the seriousness of you. And the more you put yourself into it every day, the more things are going to start lining up. Everything starts moving together because, it could be far apart, but the more you keep, I'm going to do this every day. Okay, it's getting closer. Well, now I'm going to start, I feel like I should look in, online and stuff. Okay, going to keep getting closer and closer to you right there. And when everything's aligned, boom, it's going to happen before you even know it. And again, it's just making sure that you're putting everything you got into it. And this goes with anything, on our paranormal team, SWPI, our founder, Donna, sometimes she makes it to the show, sometimes she doesn't. But she, for a long time, was doing a lot of, setting intentions. And, she, you know, I'll refrain from using certain things so because even though it was years and years ago, but she, there were some things that, were kind of chaotic and stuff. And so, and this was probably a good 7 years ago, but, um, she just started, putting it out there. She started believing in it. And the next thing things started happening. And they were happening in small increments, but they were happening. And every time she put her heart and soul into it, everything, she'd get a little response from it because the universe and her guides and everybody was working together, being like, okay, she's into this, So sure enough, the things that she was asking for, which was simple, but she was going after them, and boom, she started having things happen. And so you've just got to you've got to put your intention in, because like I said, if you're just kind of like, yeah, I probably, maybe I should, or y- nothing. It's just not going to happen. I mean, and then you're going to be like, why does nothing ever happen to me? I mean, I just want to. And this is what your body is doing. You're just not putting anything into it. And I'm laughing, it's comical, but this is why people have a rough time, or this is why people have bad luck. They're just, we all have bad luck at times, but it's how you roll through them. I've talked about the whole positivity thing all the time. If you just keep being like, oh, another thing bad's happened to me, and oh, when will this ever stop? I mean, why should it stop? Because you're not doing anything to stop it. You're more complaining. You gotta turn. And that's the thing that we've all lost, for centuries. We've lost that how, when things were simple but not simple, where we just needed shelter, we needed food, we needed water, you know the simplicity back then, even though it was difficult, but at the same time your mind was set on those things. You know what I mean? You didn't have to worry about, who's posting this and stuff. You worried about a few different things. You focused on that. Their minds were set on those things. And when they went and did it, they did it. You know what I mean? And so it's it's difficult for us because of how we've all grown up. You know what I mean? Our minds are always tossed around, and sometimes you get information, and it's not always the best information. Maybe it's lacking some of it, and so that, that kind of sticks in your head, and then and then just kind of throws you off the path. And so you have to kind of eliminate everything that and go back to a more simple time. So, and let's see, Chris said, well, I've been thinking about changing jobs for a while. I just talked to somebody about this morning. Coincidence. See, Chris, that's see, that's probably why it came up to me a couple days ago. I was like, I was thinking I might need to do that a little bit. But see, Chris, this is, there you go, buddy. That's awesome. And but see, like, this is perfect because Chris, like, I just talked about changing jobs, and Chris is, he's thinking about it, and he was talking, the ball's in motion. And again, we're in a new moon, a special new moon. Chris, put your heart and soul in this, man. Don't just be like, look, maybe I'll look this afternoon. No, 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 no. Look, look, go look, feel it, be powerful about it. You know, after the show's over with, man, being like, close your eyes for a second, take a couple deep breaths, being like, I really need to, I really want to get a new job. I just, I feel it. I don't know what yet, but you know what? Let's just all get together. Let's figure out what's going to work best for me. And then just say it every day, um, and who knows? Now, and that's the other thing is everybody's different. So I can't say that Chris is going to be able to say one time and then the job falls in tomorrow, which would be great. I mean, and that's awesome. And it does happen. But it might take Chris a couple days to really make sure that he's saying things every single day. And then his guides and who, all the things he possibly believes in, because I don't know what thing he's totally into, but all those people, that support him are going to come, show up and be like, we feel it, Chris. We're gonna help you out. And we're gonna show you where to go, or we're gonna give you some messages of where to kind of look at, or where to direct you towards. So that's how it works. And again, it works for anything, but it's just another mindset and being true. I always say almost every week, I'm like, I hate the word try because it just, it doesn't, it lacks so much power behind it. Trying is just like you're kind of letting some failure have a chance. Whereas if I'm going to do it, your mindset's different. Even if something doesn't work out, that's okay because you're going to pick yourself back up again and you're going to go for it again. Because sometimes you have to learn a little bit as you go along. And that's, been the case for a lot of things I've done. I mean, it's neat is that even just the stuff I talked about last week, they all intertwine. They all weave together. They all sort of have the same basis to them. Excuse me. Rodney, if you're still around, have a great day at work, sir. And you know, it's and it is tough, and I get that, you know, and it is sad, like I said a little bit ago, it's sad to watch people. That's Jeff, that's one of my favorite lines of Yoda, because that's like I should have that tattooed on me. I really should, you know. That I love that, you know. That is something that I've put on the show many times, and I'm always thinking that's why I said try is sort of a bad word. To me, it's a bad word, and to I'm gonna put that up because it's neat. It really holds true. I mean, sure, it's a science fiction type of movie, but there's a lot of things, even in the Star Wars saga, that has a lot of stuff that deal with things that we kind of are familiar with. And, I mean, it's a movie. If you think it's a movie and there's not little things in there that, excuse me, that don't kind of make sense in life. I mean, yeah, I mean, sure, it's fun, it's entertaining and stuff, but yet there's true feelings there. And so it's neat that that quote from Yoda is like, again, that's my favorite thing. And it makes so much sense because, when you do it, you're in. But when you're going to try it, yeah, it's like a 50-50. You know what I mean? And, we still say it. I try to correct myself a lot, which you've heard me say many, many, many times already today. you know, Bad word. I probably should put behind my laptop on the wall. I should put like a thing is saying, "Stop saying try, try, you suck." but uh, but it is true. I mean, it is true. I don't ever want to tell somebody to try it, even though we all still say it. And most of the time is we know what we want to say, just do it. Because of like my kids, it's like certain foods, they don't want to try. And I'm going to use that word right now, and it's just like just try it, because you got that power behind it, because you really just want to say just do it, I mean, but you say try because it just flows through everything. And you get frustrating and stuff like that because you really do. You just want to yell and scream, just do it, just whatever it is, and it's just cracks me up because when it happens, you're in that moment, you're right then and there, and then like literally seconds later, you're just like, oh man, you know, and it's like I kept saying try, and it's like just so it is a great quote. Thanks, Jeff, for putting that up there. Because again, like I said, I should put that on me somewhere because it's so true. Um, but anyway, so we're doing real good. 20 minutes to go. I'm happy with that. So Um, and I don't know, and maybe some of you that are still watching, if anybody's had some experiences with, putting, your intentions, putting your affirmations out there, and you know, it finally, paid you back. You put all that time in, you were doing a lot of positive thinking on something, whether it was a career change or, relationship or something like that, throw it in the chat, because it'd be great to hear, if anybody else has had some success with that. And I say success in the fact that they, knew what they were doing. They were knowing that, hey, I got to say it this way and I got to feel it and I got to want it, and then the next thing you know, it happens. And you know uh even if it was like a same thing where you were having a bunch of bad luck, and a lot of people will say, you got that black cloud flying over you and stuff like that, but did you keep fighting through it? Did you keep, saying, I'm going to get through this, I'm just going to, even if things keep raining down on me, I'm just going to keep fighting through it, and because it's going to end, but the more I keep pushing at it, the more I fight to get through it, the sooner it will. If you kind of just live in it and you kind of mope around and you feel depressed and stuff, and who knows how long it'll be, I mean, I talked about it before. I think my worst year when it came to that, and yet I was still fighting for it. I think it was, in 2000, was it 17? I don't remember if it was 17 or back. I think it was 17, 2017. It was a bad year and on a lot of levels for me. And I think as hard as I was fighting through it, it just kept raining down on me, and so many different areas. It wasn't just one area. It was a bunch. And it was like every time I turned around, it was something else, not going right or some bad luck or what, and I just remember I'm like, it's okay. It's okay. We're learning how this all works out. We're learning to deal with it, and we're going to be better for it in the end. And it just, and I mean, it took its toll, and there were some rough moments because, you keep fighting, you don't feel like you're getting anywhere. And then the next thing you know, you have a rough day because it's just like you broke down because, it's just like, why me? You go through all that stuff, which is horrible to go through because that's not going to help, and I kept fighting through it, but it was probably a good, man, I think it was a good solid somewhere between 4 and 6 months. It might be even more of the five-ish, but it was probably the longest bad luck run I've ever had. I mean, it's one thing to have it for, a few days or a few weeks and things, but this one was just months of it. And I think I wrote about it, on my personal page once, that I was just like, I can't get over this. I cannot understand how this continues to have, happen to me day in and day out. And it was like, I think I was even keeping a journal of it or something like that, where it's just like, all this stuff happened this week, and then the next week there's all this stuff, and I'm like, what is that? So, but I kept fighting through it, and it was just a time where I needed to learn, and even looking back, it was horrible, a lot of the things that were happening, some really bad, and but you just kept getting through it, and you kept fighting, and eventually it lifted, and there was still some healing type of stuff, afterwards, but a lot of things felt a lot better. I was getting back, on the road again. All right, see you, Dad. Have a good one today. And it's just how these things go. It really is. It's just how these things go. And um, yeah, and anything that you're looking to achieve, because I said I'll kind of slowly start wrapping it up, but you know, really put your mind, your body, your soul, really put all that stuff into, a daily prayer, daily affirmation, setting intentions, put that all together, be thankful for it. I mean, like I said, my prayers kind of have everything mixed together. You know what I mean? I have affirmations I say every single day, that what I want and what I, believe in, type of thing. And so it's a constant thing. And it's every day. And once in a blue moon I do miss a day, but but I'm always thinking of it. I'm always thinking of them. I'm always grateful. I mean, even if I forget to say the whole prayer, because it's kind of long with what I say, but it still, is thought of. Because even when I forget, I'm just like, oh my God, thank everybody, thank you all. You guys know everything, just be with me, do my thing, and so, but uh, so again, fight for it. You know what I mean? Don't give up, and whatever you're looking to do, you gotta just put your mind into it. That's always the main thing, and you know, um, because when your mind is fully set on something, it makes everything else a lot easier. It truly is. You know, there's a lot of people, and I'm going to use this because I can truly say it. Um, there's a lot of people that want to lose weight and things like that. So they, they're trying this, they're trying that, and again, I'm using the word. And the problem, but that's the thing is they put so many tries into this that they didn't set their mind to it. And, they'll see a little bit of results, but then the next thing you know, then nothing's happening. And then they get frustrated. So then they start, eating or they stop exercising. And then everything just falls apart again. And then they're back to where they were before it and nothing's happened. And if you're not mentally ready for something like that, then you either need to kind of regroup because mentally you got to be there because that's what's the part that's going to drive you. You know, the uh, and that's why it's fun when you watch others that are doing things like that, like a diet. You can see they're mentally into it because they're getting great results. And it's not always, you know, they could still be cheating a little bit, food wise or exercising wise. But the thing is they're still mentally into it. They're kicking butt. They're not giving up. You know what I mean? And so even if they have like a cheat day or something like that, or maybe they ate a little too much of this or something like that, on a non-cheat day or whatever you want to say, um, that's okay because they're good. They're going to fight through it and they're going to get through it because those moments happen. And the next thing you know, hey, good morning, Margaret. Got to the end of the show. But uh but you see it. I know there's several friends that I see that have been doing things like that, and some watch the show, some don't. And you can definitely tell. I don't even have to like realize it, but you can just see it. You can see it in their energy, you can see it in their mind, you can see it in their post, and uh they're fully in, and they're doing fantastic. They're feeling better, they're looking better, you know what I mean? And it's encouraging to see that because for me, they've locked it in, that mental aspect of it. And that's, like I said, that's the big part about it all. If you can't mentally be there for anything, it's just not you're not going to get the best results on it. Doesn't mean it won't happen. You might, get some, good stuff in there, but it's a lot easier, a lot better if you're fully into it. You know what I mean? And like I said, it's just a big foundation to a lot of the stuff, in a lot of things that we all do. Just like, like I said, it could be anything. You're committed to a chore, you're going to do it, you're going to finish it, and you're going to get it done. Or you got your job, I'm going to go in there, I'm going to do my work. Might suck, but I'm going to get it done. And when it's done, it's done. And then I can move on. And that's the whole thing. You just commit to it. Like I said, you can certainly complain, but you still have to know that it has to be done or whatever. And once you've done that, you get through it and you're rocking out. You know what I mean? And so um, it's a thing that we all got to change for ourselves. And that's probably beneficial to a lot of people nowadays. We all committed on something, you know, that's the betterment of ourselves. I'm not going to sit there and change something about me because somebody else thinks it's a good idea. That's going to make them happy. It's not going to make me happy. So I want to keep doing things that's making sure that me myself is good. Responsibilities are one thing, you know, like my kids, my family, that stuff's going to happen. So there's no kind of, you know, I can do as much personal as I can, but that stuff still takes priority too. I signed up for it. But, it's the thing is that I'm not going to sit there and do different things. I'll listen to people. I mean, if they got advice or something like that, or maybe you should try this or do that and stuff. It's like, okay, well, I mean, I'll listen to it. I'm not opposed to listening to it, but then again, I have to be there mentally. You know what I mean? If it sounds really good to me or it makes the most sense, then I'm going to go after it. But a lot of times, that's what I do. I said a lot of different things, and I've had a lot of great things come from being mentally and physically and spiritually all set and aligned. Everybody's been working together and we got things done, and or they are being done. So that's the cool thing about it. So yeah. So um we're still working on about 9 minutes left. So shouldn't have any issues for the morning shows for the next couple weeks, give or take. Um, there may be one that may have to cancel or at least push to a Sunday. I don't know for sure yet. I have some family coming into town that obviously couldn't make it out uh, last year because of the pandemic, but they're going to be out, and so there could be a morning show that either has to get moved or canceled altogether. I won't know for sure because a lot of it's still unplanned as far as, or I should say unscheduled. So there's some things that are still kind of floating, and that's kind of how this happens when my family, comes in. It's actually my wife's family. Um, some things are just kind of left loose, and so we don't always know um, the schedules until they get here. There's some, but not a lot, which is okay. There's no problem in that. It just kind of leaves things open that I can't completely plan or schedule around without until I find out. But they'll be here, sometime at the end of next week, Thursday, Friday, or Wednesday, Thursday, I think it was. And so once they get here and we sort of start hearing what the plans are and things, because sometimes we try to go over for a breakfast, and obviously you can't do that during the work week. But there could be a weekend or a Saturday that, or even Sunday, you never know. But we might go over for breakfast and things. So I just don't know. But so we'll see how that works out. But I'm just kind of giving everybody a little bit of heads up and things like that. And so we'll just go from there. Like I said, if there's something I can do, or move it a day, I'll definitely keep you guys posted ahead of time. And like I said, I'll know a lot more by the end of next week. And because even then, like I said, if it's that Saturday, then we'll adjust. And if it's not that Saturday, that works out great. But so yeah, we'll see. But so just keep that in mind. Other than that, that's the other thing, so going back to like I talked about in the beginning. So the next, live reading show will be, like I said, that's what I was guided to do, is going to be a pop-up. So there won't be really any warning to it. It literally you'll just notice that I'm live. And um, so if you jump over, uh, and happen to be there, then you'll get it. So, uh, you know, I technically haven't figured out a date because, like I said, I'm kind of waiting to see what some of the family stuff's going to be doing. And, but there's a good chance within the next couple weeks, I'll say that. And then, that'll be fun. But yeah, once I know more, it'll be a good time. So, uh, other than that, I'm trying to think of anything else kind of coming up. Um, I do know, and I know there's not a lot of you that are, not everybody in the, that watches this or is watching it live and or listening to it later on. If there's still some people looking for something to do, I know on Friday the 30th, our uh, our team still host public and private investigation at the Old Mill and Museum in Dundee, Michigan. And if you guys are looking for something to do on a Friday night, like I said, it was on the 30th. we do have an investigation. I don't know because I don't see the numbers, but you'll know it when you log in. But if you're interested in investigating that night, because it is a public one, we do have a few people left, just so for distancing and stuff like that. But um, so there is investigation on the 30th, and so if you're interested, you can just go to the Old Mills, the Haunted Old Mill site, and you'll be able to sign up for that and get a ticket to come out and investigate. And majority of the team will be there. At least I think. I know I will be there, and a few others for sure. But we'll be there hanging out, asking, answering questions, or people want to use as trigger objects because our spirits do like when we're around too, because they know us really well. So. And it has been a while too. It'll actually be quite interesting on that Friday, because we haven't been there in a good full month. It'll be like a month and a half or something like that, because I don't think we've been there since it was either the beginning of June or end of May, I think, something like that. I'd have to go back into the calendar, but so it's been a while. And yeah, because we're supposed to have almost 2 months in between, or at least a month and a half. So it might be pretty good. Sometimes they give us they'll give us attitude, for not being there for so long, but it's like, well, hey, nobody scheduled us, but we're also still trying to, do the whole, COVID thing and stuff like that, but keep it distancing and things of that nature. But yeah, it'll be a good time. So they'll give us a little grief at first, but then they usually they lighten up, and finally you'll start talking and chatting and things. So it should be a good time. So if you guys are interested, come out to check out the old mill, the haunted old mill, and we'll have a good time then. And after that, we haven't really scheduled anything else for the mill. So I mean, there's opportunities too if you have a team, or um you want to put together a private event and you can just invite friends or whatever. You can certainly do that, and have the mill to yourselves. So there's always that opportunity, which is going to be in the website there. So you can click on either public or private, and that'll give you all the information you need. um and then yeah, there's some other possibilities of things I saw this morning that was posting. So you guys knew that I was working on the movie Never Blink, which we filmed several months ago. We still had a few more pickup shots still to go. I saw a rumor that was posted online that we may finish up those last few scenes next month. So I'm keeping my fingers crossed that it works out, schedule wise, and that'll be great to kind of finish up the last couple scenes, pickup shots, and get those all finished up, because I know the movies. When I saw the Booth brothers a couple weeks ago, they were well on their way. The movie was already being edited for what was done, so there's a lot of stuff that's already in the whole in an order. They really went through and started piecing it together. The soundtrack, Christopher's working on that now. If you've seen him on his Facebook page and stuff, he's been posting little snippets of some possibilities for it. So that's been really cool to see. So there's that. And so yeah, so I'm really keeping positive thoughts out there that it'll all work out to where I can get out and finish up those last few shots, because I think the last few major ones aren't going to be around where it was filmed. I think they're going to be in a different place. And then I believe they're still supposed to come back and do some more exterior shots. So there's always that, and I know I'll be there somehow. But hey, Kathy. Oh my gosh, Kathy, I hope you're doing okay. Hope everything's fine. You get to go home today. Well, that's great. Oh my gosh. I hope much love and healing to you. So get some rest. I'm not sure whatever is going on. Hopefully you'll be back on your feet, so to speak, real soon. So you definitely take care. We're all thinking of you. That's for sure. I mean, well, you know what? And Kathy, I was talking all earlier that, positive thoughts, you know what I mean? Just, you want to go home, you keep thinking that, you know what, I'm going home. I'm going to go home. Just keep putting those positive thoughts out there. That's what I was talking about a lot is, goals on how to keep pushing forward. Don't think anything negative about it. Even if they say, you know what, we think we're going to keep you in there, just keep saying it. Keep saying I'm going to go home. Don't argue with them, but just keep thinking to yourself, I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to keep pushing. I'm going to fight through this. I'm going to get healed up, so that way I can go home, and they'll be impressed that my everything is good to go, and I can walk out of here and get home and then finish resting up the rest of the way. So best of luck, Kathy. Love and light to you. Um, so yeah, we hit it. We got to the show, and my son didn't come down and need me. So I'm excited, but now I got to go up there and make sure the house isn't torn apart. So that'll be fun. So I'm gonna walk up real slow, going, "What happened?" Hopefully nothing. So, alrighty, gang. I'm gonna get myself out of here and go hang out with my son for the rest of the weekend while the ladies are away, and do some figure out some things to do with my boy, and then yeah, and then I'm gonna be doing some studying too in between some times, and get some other things cool. So it'll be awesome. And yes, Nicole, you have a great weekend yourself. And right. Okay, guys, I'm out. Thank you so much for being here. Sharon, have a great weekend. Uh, you guys have been watching as I get a dry throat right at the wrong time. Guys, you have been watching Mid Morning Medium Chat with Adam the Black Swamp Meme. Thank you so much for being here, and I will see you again very, very soon. All right. Have a great weekend. All my love, light, and peace to every single one of you. See you soon.